What's up, guys? It's your girl, Matt Cox from A Couture Crafting. I am your quilty BFF. And oh my goodness, I am so excited to be talking to you guys about the H&H America's Convention. Whenever I come back from a convention or a show, you guys know I'm on cloud nine. Like, you know that all the energy, all the ideas, everything is happening. But I wanted to be sure to do a recap on this one. I didn't do a recap on some of the other ones, and this one's important, I think. I've got things to say. Imagine that. Now, no, I am new to the quilting world. I think I've been in this about 4 years strong, like really doing it. I traipse around the country and I go to quilt shows and conventions and stores, and I bring you with me. So usually I'm live. Now this one here, I didn't go live because there really wasn't time for me to do that, but I'll get into that more. But I do this. I do this part of the quilting world. I feel like I do this part well. I find the shows, I go to the shows, I tell you the things. And so I feel like I am an authority on being a newbie who goes to shows. But that being said, I'm an authority about nothing else. Nothing else. So you might want to take this with a grain of salt. That is just whatever. Okay. That was my disclaimer. You guys know this is just the world the quilty world, according to me. All right. So H&H, kind of awesome. It is, I've got notes here. It is the standout pinnacle gathering for North America handicraft industry. It's the esteemed counterpart to the H&H Cologne in Germany, the globe's most expansive trade fair dedicated to the crafts. So basically, this is a trade show. So this is not open to the general public. This is for people who are in the crafts industry. Cool, no problem. I feel like this is significant, though. I want to say they've only been doing this for a couple of years, and this is all kind of hearsay. I mean, I've done some research, but really this is just what the people are telling me. So they've been doing it for a couple of years, and this time was the largest. It's growing, and I can see why. It's really awesome. No sense in me making you wait for that. I think this show is important. Now, you know, when I went to Houston, I did my critique of Houston, and I hadn't gone to market at the time. And so my views on it are slightly different, but still, kind of the same. If I probably need to go back and redo that video. But all in all, I think Houston is amazing, but it's antiquated. I think that there are some things that need to be zhuzhed up, because I don't just go to conventions for quilting. I'm just a convention girl. Like, you might catch me at D23. You will catch me at D23. You'll catch me at Comic-Con. I like convention culture. And I wanted to bring some of that pop culture to the quilting world. Pop culture, you say? It's a thing. So I felt like Houston just needed a little, and they said the things that I wanted from Houston used to be happening before COVID and whatnot. It just changed. So H&H comes along, and it's the things that I wanted. It is the things that I thought would bring a freshness to it. Like almost everything that I said, it's only missing like a gala, and that's it. And that might be crazy that I even want one. But anyway, it's it. You guys, it was so good. So it's a trade show for professionals. It happens in Chicago at the Donald E. Stevenson's Convention Center and Conference Center. I flew into O'Hare. It was maybe a 15-minute drive. I took an Uber. I shouldn't have, because they have a shuttle. So check into shuttles, guys, if your hotel has a shuttle that goes back and forth. From where I stayed, it was a mile away, maybe a mile and a half. I Ubered in every day, and that cost me like $5. I stayed at the Hampton Inn. You guys, the Hampton Inn was so good. It was like far enough so that you're not in the hustle and the bustle, but still everybody was still staying there too. It was clean. It was so good. Breakfast included. I'm big on that. It had the shuttle that goes to and from the airport. The staff was impeccable. You guys, the staff was so good. They were so friendly. They were on time. They were just doing it. Okay. Every time I needed something, anything, they were there and ready. I think I enjoy Hilton properties. I might need to work something out with the Hilton, because I seem to always be staying in them. The privacy was perfect. The suite was amazing. I had a microwave, I had a refrigerator, I had like a wet bar, I had an area for me to be able to work because I really had to do some work, and the Wi-Fi was perfect. Everything about this hotel met my needs. They have a gym, not that I went in there for anything other than just being nosy. They have the pool. It was good. So the Hampton Inn, if you're okay with Ubering in, and the Ubers got there within like 3 to 4 minutes, they were there constantly. And then they drove me, and it was like, again, like a $5 trip, worth it to me. My friends and stuff stayed closer. They stayed like right across the street, but those weren't available by the time I booked. Book early. Just know if you want to go to H&H, just go ahead and book early. And they're right across the street, and they just scurried across the street. What else? So I flew in United. That was what was available. It was all right. It's okay. I got there. It was about a 3.5 hour going. Coming back, it was about 4.5 hours. I don't know, the wind or something. It was okay. It was what it was. Let's see. So I told you guys about the Hampton Inn, the hotel shuttle. Totally missed that. Make sure you guys see if you guys have a shuttle going. Breakfast was included, the refrigerator, the microwave, perfect. The bed was super comfortable. I had one of those showers, not the bathtub, just a walk-in shower, which I prefer. The privacy was exceptional. The staff was great. At one point, there was a woman who was on her hands and knees cleaning, and I feel like she was going above and beyond for what she was doing, which was just amazing to see. What else? If you really could, because the people that were staying there, you really could just ride with people. Everybody was super cool. They are your people. You could have split that bill, that $5 or whatnot, or just offered somebody to go. They've done that for me in the past. Like, hey, I'm going, just hop in the car, and we've done that too. When you arrive at the convention center, you walk in, and it's open, and it was airy, and it was very, very bright. There's a bar straight ahead. There was an information booth, and the information booth was manned with just enough people to kind of keep those lines going. There was a woman there with a laptop who could do any corrections that you needed for your schedule. They were helpful. They knew what they knew. I ran into one issue, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. It was, the information booth was there for you. And then out in the front, which I totally missed. I mean, I saw it, but I didn't film it the way I should have, were little columns that have the new things that people were showcasing at the show. How did I miss that? Again, I influence weird, but they had that out, and I think that's cool in hindsight. They had a few special exhibits too, which I also missed. Again, I influence weird. But it's nice that they had those things. And if I were doing this again, I would totally need to film that. I would make it a point to go right there and film those. Let's see. The way that the convention was laid out were columns, kind of like most conventions that you've been to, with the big aisle numbers on top, like 1,500, 400, whatnot. And so that way you can find the things that you're looking for. They have an app, and the app was actually pretty cool. I wish that I had utilized the app a little bit better. It had some really cool features, like a very on it app. When you walk in, the energy from everybody was just on a 10. It felt not, I mean, I want to say youthful. It felt energetic, but not in the sense that people were young, in the sense that it just felt fresh. The energy was what you would want from a show like this. They have yarn and fibers included with the quilting, so it's not just a quilting convention. And I didn't understand everything that was happening in the yarn section. I could tell that they had the yarn. So, what are we going to, yarn celebrities? The famous yarn people. They were there. You could tell who they were, and people were very excited to see them. Yarn, crochet, knitting, it's a thing, and people were loving that section. But for the most part, it was in the first part of the section. And then there was another section for quilting. And then there was like another additional room where there was more quilting and whatnot, which was cool. But again, that energy when you walk in was just upbeat and fresh and lively. And it felt good. It felt so good. It felt like that everlasting hug that a quilt is. It was right. They had a learning lab section where you could go in, and they had like labs. And then they had the main stage, which was kind of in a weird place. And it wasn't super huge, but I guess it was big enough for what they were doing. I didn't see anything on the main stage except for when I was like walking back and forth filming. So I didn't like sit down in the main stage area. Anytime you walked into an area, they would scan your badge, so you couldn't just get in there. But everything seemed like you could get in, even if you were just like, that day, I'd like to take this class. Is this available? Depending upon what you paid for. So there are certain levels and tiers to what you can pay for. And if you pay for like the ultimate, whatever, you can just take a lot of their classes. And then they have the master classes, which is an additional fee, that are small classes where you get a really intimate experience with a celebrity or somebody who, you know, has a ton of knowledge on whatever they're teaching. Small classes, like 12 people, and it's intimate, and you can get, you know, that real hands-on training that you might want on whatever topic they offer. One of the people that did that was the Crafty Gemini. I mean, taking a class straight from the Crafty Gemini, you really can't beat that. And in a tiny setting where you really get to know and talk and express and ask the questions, that's dynamite. That's excellent. And I didn't know all the other people, but I'm assuming same caliber, same kind of thing. I'm just going to make that assumption. So they had those. Then they had the other talks, and I attended a couple of those because they were included in my ticket, and they were great. What else? Let me see. Areas. Oh, they had areas for you to sit so that you can come off your feet for a little bit. They had food places for you to eat. Yeah, they had both of those. That was great. Let's see. Some exhibitors and vendors that were standout. So the Moda section was just big. And the way that Moda set theirs up was so cool because, like, they had their huge section, and each section, like each designer had their booth where they could sit down and take orders and talk about their new fabrics. And it was just cute over there. I loved it. It was big though. Moda had like a full section, and I look forward to this show just growing because I would have loved to have seen more sections like that. Riley Blake's section was a good size too, but it was in a different area and set up a little different. But they also had like their people kind of blocked off and around, which was cool. I got a chance to film a couple of their booths. So like fabric companies. So, you know, your Free Spirits were there, your Andover was there, Shannon Fabrics was there. I don't think Wyndham. I believe going forward, we're going to see more because I think people are going to be like, no, that was a good show. I'm thinking that from the outside looking in, from somebody who didn't have a booth there, it looked like those booths were jumping. They were certainly jumping on the first day. The second day, they were still jumping. And then the third day when it was kind of calm, but no, the things were happening. And then the yarn section, same. I don't know what was happening over there, but it looked like the yarn things were yarning. Like it looked like it was doing what it was supposed to do because it was definitely popping over there. At Houston and whatnot, the thing about Houston is that some of those companies have all of their stuff out because they're getting ready to go to the festival. So market and festival are right next to each other. So in comparison, they would bring more stuff because they also were getting ready to vend. Here, they're all about buyer to buyer. So they didn't have a whole bunch of stuff out. It was like small, but it was, you know, this is what we got going on. This is what we're doing. It was just smaller. But there were still places and tables for people to sit down and take their orders and that kind of thing. It just seemed more compact. Let's see. I saw new rulers. I saw new fabrics. I saw new people. I saw new machines. But even though these things were new and some of it, you know, some of it was very, very new to me, it didn't feel like what happens in fall, which seems like it's newer, if that makes any sense. So in fall, I feel like we're getting items that are, I don't know, I feel like fall is just bigger. Some of this stuff I had seen before, but some of it I hadn't. I think fall is just like the big daddy of it all. Because some stuff was repeat. You'll see that. If you follow my stuff, you'll be like, okay, we saw this before. But you might see something that is different, or they might say something different about the items. And there's some stuff that we haven't seen before, but I feel like fall is where where the big guns, where they were like, oh no, we have this one for spring, but then for fall, it's the big daddy of the stuff. Like there's some machines that I know are coming out right now after the show. Like I already know Bernina just started teasing a machine, and they did not debut it at this, but we will see it for sure in November. That's what I'm trying to say. If you are wanting to know what products, what notions I came across and I think are interesting, if you were in my community, you would see it right now. If you were part of the pop culture community, you have access to it right now. If you want access to it, hop on over to my website, go ahead and sign up, and you will get access to both of those videos. There are 2 videos. If not, I completely understand. You are still going to get the content, but it'll come later and more spread out. But if you want to know right now some of the standout vendors and whatnot, go ahead and join the community. There's so much happening over there in the community. We talk all the things. It's the pop culture community. And we have a good time over there. And one of the perks of being in the community is getting my stuff first. And they're over there going crazy, commenting already on the stuff, making notes about what they want to buy. And I get it, because as I was editing the video, I found myself just sitting there going, this vendor is great. Like, gosh, I can't wait to get this. Or I wonder which shop is buying this and has it, and that kind of thing. It's cool. So if you like to see the stuff early, I get it. If you want to wait, no worries. Within the week, within about a week and a half, you'll have all of the content. But yes, there's new stuff happening, and there are some definite standout products. And some of the vendors were just great. There was tons of networking happening. You guys want to know what celebrities are? I'll tell you guys what celebrities I ran into. Let's see. Missouri Star ran into Jenny Doan, which is great because I don't know when I'm going to see her again. She's going on that 2-year mission. I got a chance to see Natalie, who was with her. I got a chance to see Ron, who was with Jenny, which was nice. Nice. I don't get to see him. Tula Pink, she came out. She was at Renaissance Ribbon for a day. Annie was there, who I just love. She is just amazing. If you've ever seen a response from Annie, like on your Instagram or your Facebook or whatnot, it was probably her. I was like, she was talking about something that I had recently done, and I'm like, that was you? And she's like, yes. I thought that was funny, because these people usually have teams, and not that she doesn't, it just so happens that she was the one who was responding. Jess Ziegler. If you guys don't know who Jess is the creator of the Long Arm League. All I'm going to say about Jess is she's playing chess where we're all playing checkers. Her thoughts on things, she's just low-key brilliant. And so ran into Jess, that's a big deal. Kimberly, Fat Quarter Shop, she was walking around. I didn't talk to her, but I did see her. Shabby Fabrics. I've never seen Jennifer from Shabby Fabrics in person, and there she was. And yes, I don't know. You know how you need to stare at somebody, but you need them not to be staring back at you? I didn't have that opportunity, so I was just staring in her face, like staring at her, which was really awkward. Leave it to me. But she is the reason why I can do many of the things that I can do sewing wise. She basically has raised me. Her, Jenny, Donna, it is what it is. The women from Fabric Cafe were there, Fran and Donna. Like, it was amazing. Love seeing them. You guys know I'm a huge Fabric Cafe fan. They were walking around. Crafty Gemini was there. The So Yeah brothers were there, and many, many more. I'm sure I'm leaving out some celebrities. Forgive me, but these are the people who were there. These are, Laura from So Very Easy. She's huge. She was there. Everybody was more than kind. I don't have a bad thing to say about anybody, usually ever. Everybody was great. The energy was amazing. The networking was great. They also had like some social networking parties and whatnot that were available to go to. I think you had to like qualify to go. And I mean, like, they were going to check your socials and that kind of thing, but you get a chance to pitch directly to the companies. They had some companies there, and that was one of the things that was available. So if you're trying to get in this game, that might be a way to do it. What else? The content creator events, food. They had food. Food was okay. It was cool. It was available. Happy to have it. Something cool that I think the vendors did, and the Crafty Alliance did this. They like had snacks out, like good snacks. Like the Andover candy table was like the good candy. But Crafty Alliance literally had like bananas. When I tell you I needed that banana, it was so right on time, so perfect, and such a like standout thing to do. Shout out to the Crafty Alliance, who had real snacks. And then everybody kind of had like the good chocolates. Like Acorn had an amazing chocolate. Just little things like that that made these booths stand out. Let's see. They had I don't know what the Wi-Fi was like. I didn't hop on a live, and I wish I had it because that would be important to somebody like me who goes live all the time. I don't know if they had Wi-Fi or charging stations or anything like that there, but I'm sure you could have gotten a corner and plugged up if you need to. I've seen people do that for sure that needed to get their charges really quickly. Let's see, anything else? Two things that I wish I had done. Attend the fashion show and also the cosplay competition. Like, I can't believe that I missed those. I couldn't make them, but those were great. And they also had like the mannequins with the clothing on them. I hate that I didn't get a chance to film all that for you, but let me tell you guys what I wore. Of course, I was in my signature tees with my embroidered pants. So always a pair of embroidered pants. But this right here, I forgot to tell you guys, lifesaver, life-changing. This is Morty. It's Morty over there. These are the Bianni payday bags, wallets, whatnot. I made them in 2 different sizes. People ask me about these constantly. And you know what? I'm never doing another show without one now. I don't know that I really want to make them again, but I definitely need a Disney one. And so I'm going to have to. Now, this one here just has the regular magnet closure. I added snap closure magnets to this one right here, fabric and whatnot. But you guys, this game changer for me. It was so good to have these. I'm telling you, like, so good. They were the hands-free option that I needed. They carried my business cards, they carried my cash, my cards, and it was really that serious and that good. It was so much so that I turned the camera back on so I could tell you guys. And also, if you are a convention girly, find your shoe. My shoe happens to be a pair of Skechers. I need to deal with Skechers for sure because Skechers are my go-to shoe for long distance walking and whatnot. And I was looking at the shoes that everybody else had on and I saw a ton of Skechers. So find your shoe to do conventions. I know. And then I always wear pants with pockets. So usually jeans or do a skirt with pockets or whatnot. You just never know. And it seems like I always need one, or do a backpack. Those are just tips for convention culture. And it worked out really well for me, but I wanted to be sure to tell you guys that. Again, don't miss out on the fashion shows. If you can, they are worth it. Again, I hope this opens up to the public because the public would go crazy for some of the things that H&H has going on. Also, they had like an ice cream social at some point. They just busted out ice cream at like 3 o'clock every day. The bars came out like 2 or 3 o'clock. Bars started to actually like come out on the floor, and then you could get your beer and your wine. It's a vibe. They get it. They get how to do it. It's different. And it's good. It's really, really good. All right. All in all, it just was a great show. Something I wish I had done was walked the exhibits. They had these exhibits out and I didn't even film them. And I'm like, come on, girl. Like, I hate that I didn't get a chance to do that. I should have slowed down. When I got in, I was overwhelmed. I was super giddy. I was talking to everybody, of course. But something that I did do, that if, again, you're trying to get into the influencer game, the quilting game or whatever, not that I know anything about those things, but I took the time to kind of skim over the vendors that were going to be here. And I knew who I was going to go meet. I knew who I wanted to be in front of. And I made that list and I started there. So day one was about trying to meet people for me. And then after that, then I went ahead and started looking at what was available and then started filming and recording and that kind of thing. And I think that was a great way for me to approach it. Of course, I'm going to talk so much that I'm not going to always hit the goals for the day, but that's all right. Building relationships is super important in these kinds of events. That app was so good in the sense that you can scan badges and then you have the contact information. You can remember what people's names are, who you want to go back and who you want to talk to, that kind of thing. The floor layout was great because there were several times when I absolutely was lost and we could not find. Me and Lily, we were trying to walk around. We were trying to find stuff. We couldn't find it. We were able to with the map. The only issue that I said I did have an issue was One of the classes that I signed up for had gotten like totally moved, like not moved back or like a whole day, and I didn't know it. And my badge was incorrect. The calendar was incorrect. Everything was incorrect except for the stuff that wasn't. And the stuff that wasn't, I wasn't able to see. I didn't have access to. And I hate that happened because it was a class that I really wanted to attend about color. You guys know I'm a color girl. But I went to the information desk. They were like, yeah, that's gone. These are your options if you'd like to switch it out, or we can refund you. And they took care of that. No problem. Really easy peasy. I just hate that I missed it. And that happened to quite a few people. Those classes were all topsy-turvy. Like, I don't know what happened. The woman said that they were printed. The magazines were printed, like a month ago. And I get it. But I bet you it doesn't happen again. I think they have a real good hand on what's happening. The showrunner was on the floor, constantly walking the floor. At least that's what people were telling me. They were like, hey, Darren, who I think his name is Darren. I didn't get a chance to see him or send him love, quilty vibes. And I hate that I didn't, because I would have liked to have done that. But he has just been exceptional. There are lots of rumors going around about how the H&H tried to buy into Houston, like they wanted to take it over. And what I'm hoping happens, that didn't go through, which is fine. People want what they want, and people it's business. I get it. But what I'm hoping is, because they wanted to buy Houston, I'm hoping that this turns into something that the public can come to also. They had a cosplay competition. They understand what's new, what's fresh. A lot of people don't even recognize content creators, but they do. They recognize us, and then had classes and things to kind of help us and put content creators in front of the brands that we need to meet. They get it. They have a different kind of understanding about where this is going, and that's special. And so I'm hoping that H&H just continues to grow, that they have continued success. They're important. I think they are probably one of the most important shows in this right now. And I'm hoping that it expands. I had a great time. I see nothing but amazing stuff in the future for them. And I'm hoping to be a part of it. I'm trying to jump on the bandwagon and ride with them. I can't think of anything else that would really make the show better than just more people coming. Some brands that I wish I had seen. I can't believe Brother wasn't there. Brother is such an important, technologically advanced part of what we do. I hate that I didn't see them there. I'm hoping that they'll come next year. And everybody else, it was just weird that they weren't. That was just like a big company. I'm like, hey, where are they? I'm hoping that they pop in. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head that I just didn't see. And I'm like, more fabric companies, more all the things, all the people. That's the only thing that's gonna just more. So if you would like to see the vendors and the cool standout things that I saw, and you can't wait, go ahead and join the pop culture community. Again, it's at my website, A Couture Crafting. You'll see pop culture community. Go on ahead, join it. Come have a good time with us. And I hope you guys check out H&H. It was very, very interesting. And it's the kind of show that I believe that I'm going to put on the schedule every year to go. All right. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.